In this video, we're going to talk about Twitch racing to solve the case before he's next. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Sam and Twitch, Case Files, issue number 5, brought to you by RatedComics. Now, Sam has only been in this series in the first issue and then the second issue by phone calls and missed phone calls, but we could use some Sam right about now. Hopefully, we get some of that. But previously in Sam and Twitch, even though there's no Sam after issue number 1, at least not yet by the way, Twitch gets pulled in to help on a murder case, but as clues unfold, he may be the next victim. So we start this issue off at a press conference with the mayor and all these detectives talking about that they had a drug bust last week or a couple days ago and everything was successful. We had to fire back because we had to keep the town safe with these drug dealers, and everything was done by the book because we're a bunch of God-fearing people and good old folks in this town. And as the panel right here gets a little bit more grainy, because to give the illusion or the allure that somebody is watching this on TV, and this mayor is just giving praises over here. So Detective Trestle has to come up to the podium and does his speech, talk about, yeah, the meth lab, we were met with immediate fire, so our boys had to fire back because that's what we do. Oh, well, he didn't bark like that, but it just gets the feeling that someone's watching and he's not happy as to what he's seeing, because now Trestle's talking about, we don't know who the bigger perp is, and we did everything by the book. And when we saw in the previous issue, they clearly did not do anything by the book. It's just something odd about this town, and Twitch is in the middle of it. So the person who's watching it is just looking at Jim Trestle on screen like, you are a freaking liar. Plainfield, and you made me into a killer. So he grabs his keys, walks out, goes into the van. That's the same van, by the way, that took that homeless guy down to Indianapolis, I believe, or something like that. But anyways, it's just a lot of pieces of this crime mystery comic coming together in the Spawn universe. So this guy keeps saying, no good deed, Detective Lansky, no good deed. And Detective Lansky is that brother he's digging up. And remember that girl Bobby, his girlfriend that was harassing Twitch, that her boyfriend Lansky is missing? Well, that is the brother right there that he dug up. So we go into this flashback weeks earlier, and you see Lansky here running off. You remember that opening scene right here? Remember that? The full moon, shoes on the mud puddle right there or whatnot, and just running away in a panic? Yeah, that's a flashback to issue number 1. So now we go back and all this is coming together. So when he goes into this abandoned farmhouse, Detective Lansky is huffing a puffy, and this guy in the shadows that we revisit from issue number 1 is like, yo man, did you follow the plan? He's like, yeah, I followed the plan. Then why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you running? Anyways, I was just thinking about that meme right there.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Oh, and so Detective Lansky is like, I couldn't get away from the den. They're getting pretty paranoid with the new batch of their cooking. And this guy in the shadows like, you always got an excuse, Lansky. And that reveal is Jim Trestle right there, and he's pissed. It's a pretty big reveal right there, and it's like, damn, Jim, you involved in all this. So Jim asked Lansky, you're high, aren't you? A little, that's all, but I'm undercover, so I had to blend in. You always got a freaking excuse. And after going back and forth, Lansky is like, man, I'm doing my job. And Jim is like, okay, look, a little becomes a habit becomes a problem. Are you a problem, Lansky? Well, look, I'm just doing my job. What can I tell you? He's like, yeah, maybe a little too good. So if that's what you call it, then I'm gonna call this doing my job too. Pulls out a gun and just shoots him point blank in the head like, son, that's it. Who else saw that? Who else could witness that besides us as the readers? So now we go back to the previous issue where Twitch and the chief are talking about, where Twitch made a very bold statement like, this killer is going to make a mistake eventually, and when he does, I'm going to be there to catch him. And the chief is all like, yeah, that's why we became cops, you know? That's why. So we're going to redouble our efforts. What do you say? Toby goes up to the chief, is like, we got a problem here. Take this. And Twitch is over here like, okay, what kind of problem we talking about? Is this pertaining to the case? It doesn't look too good. So Jim is like, yeah, now we tie it back to the previous issue where Detective Lansky was in that chair talking about no good deed at the end of that previous issue where his ex-girlfriend was hooking up with that dude. So Jim is like, we got a freaking problem. Another body found. But the worst thing is, it's Lansky. Someone's trying to make this shit freaking personal, alright? So what do you want to do, says the chief. And Jim is like, I want to handle this quickly. Do you need cover, he asked. And Jim looks back, and you could tell by that look like, yeah, we need cover, because he's got to do something and it's not too good. So Twitch goes up like, yo, I don't mean to pry, but is this news on our case? Because I was about to head out, but if that's any update with the case, yo, I'm here, let's do this. And the chief is like, no, it's something else, but give me a minute, all right? Twitch is like, okay, take your time. So the chief is like, there's that press conference the mayor called about, so Toby and I have got this, I'll call you later. So the chief goes up to Twitch and just randomly is like, man, sorry about all this, Twitch, I didn't want to leave you until I told you how much I personally appreciate your presence here under these conditions. You're one of the good ones, give me a hug, bro. And Twitch is like, I mean, just the look on Twitch's face is like, a hug? That kind of came out of nowhere. So they go back to Detective Lansky's body right there. No more hiding. No good deed goes unpunished right here. No more hiding. So Jim tells the couple, Detective Relis is coming. He's going to ask you a few questions. I want you to walk around, see if there's anything unusual. And Lansky's ex-girlfriend's like, okay, but everything looks normal. There was no forced entry. I mean, how can we feel safe being up in our house like that if the guy didn't even have locks or pick the locks? There's no signs of forced entry here. So the chief goes up and you see this eerie looking brother like something's about to go down. Now, before I go any further, this video is sponsored by coffee, as nasty as we're about to get with this video. So if you'd like to buy a boy a cup of coffee, link in description, or donate to the super thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. With all that being said, let's get back into the content. And even though Lansky's ex-girlfriend's like, I knew Bobby didn't leave town like that, he didn't deserve this. So Jim is like, okay, you're right. Whoever did this to Bobby, Detective Lansky, we're gonna figure it out. And I promise you that. So the guy who's the one night stand's like, what about me? I just met her tonight. And Toby's like, we're all clear up here. So they know something eerie is about to happen, because this guy is asking seriously, what the hell is going on down here? And Jim Trestle's like, okay, it's gonna be a murder and a suicide. Murks him, ends him. Now they gotta clean up the mess to make it look like it was a murder and a suicide to go along with Detective Lansky's body. So when Twitch gets back to his motel, he takes off his watch, his wallet, and his holster that just happens to be empty. And Twitch is like, what the heck is that? It makes no sense. How could this have happened? So he thinks about it and he goes back to that hug that the chief gave him at the restaurant. And Twitch knows he's in trouble. So he makes a phone call and he asks for help because he knows he's in trouble, as Twitch races to solve the case before he's next. Alrighty then, what you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. Also, link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Until next time.